Alright, so everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the Wirefish podcast. Today we actually have two topics similar to our old format. The first one is going to be very serious, and the second one will go back into our usual shenanigans and hijinks. The first topic at hand, we held off on this topic since the very beginning because this happened back in, I believe, in early December or late November, one of those months, and it would have been weird for us to start the podcast with that topic, or the season with that topic, so we held off on it. But because of what was discovered in this man's home, we now have no choice but to start talking about it right now. Now, the man we're talking about is Adam Lanza, the man that killed over 22 children, right? And Sandy Hook.
I thought it was 20 kids, 7 adults.
Something along those lines. And thing is that at first it was just it was mostly speculation. Oh, the man played video games and stuff like that, and we were like, guys, please, video games hasn't even entered the discussion yet. However, several months later, it is now discovered, yes, he actually did play video games, namely first-person shooters. Now, most news sites, they don't say exact games he played, but most likely it might have been maybe Call of Duty and probably about Battlefield 3. Now, the thing is that right now the scrutiny is just getting a lot worse for the video game industry and the community as well, and I think this is probably the worst we've been scrutinized in the longest. Like, the last time we ever been under this much of a microscope was probably during Hot Coffee, and that was mostly based on sexualization of video games. Now it's violence again, and we're being put under a microscope. And well, we're here to say that the scapegoating just simply has to stop, and that, it's not video games. Yeah, video games do something, but it's not, it doesn't cause people to be violent. I mean, yeah, it causes aggression, but it won't make them violent or, commit crimes, like that. To put simply, books, movies, music has lasted much longer than video games have, and those have been inspirations for people to commit certain acts. But what am I trying to say here? It's it's just simply no different. So there's no reason to try and scapegoat video games just because it's probably the worst of them all. So what are you guys' take on this?
So just to make sure, the general opinion is that if you are a gamer or something to that nature, you're violent by nature, and you have no control, I guess, over your urges of violence if you play video games. Is that my understanding?
That's what the consensus of the general public is. Yes.
That is the worst theory I've ever heard.
It is.
Seriously though, you know what? Because we spend our time on animals and shit like that. We should train a monkey, one of those smart monkeys that can do sign language and shit. We should teach them to play StarCraft and watch Planet of the Apes happen. Now, if it doesn't happen, we know it's a bunch of bullshit. Honestly, I would pay to see it though. A monkey playing StarCraft.
I would love to see that. I would love to play Zerg.
That shit would be raw. You see a monkey sitting there, Planet of the Apes, just sitting there going, "Fuck you guys."
And here's the other thing with the whole aggression thing. I mean, the whole thing with video games causing aggression. I mean, it's almost similar to, say, for instance, when you listen to more fast-paced music, your heart rate goes up and stuff like that. But it's not going to make you do anything. Your heart rate just simply goes up. You get hyped for the music. And when you listen to calmer music, you're going to be calm. You play something like Journey, you're going to be calm. It's, not all video games are going to make us be violent as shit. All right? I mean, when's the last time I lost my shit when the guy in, say, okay, again, Journey, he wasn't following me? Did I lose my shit? No.
Well, I'm playing Ikaruga right now, and I might want to go crazy.
Yeah, but you're not going to go outside and douche and do what this asshole did over in Connecticut.
I think in terms of the video game, it's more so a level of like personal frustration. Like I know we all get frustrated whenever we play a game, but you know we don't go out and like open fire and like in an open area like that.
Oh no, because that's stupid. To say a better word, I was gonna say another word. I was about to go crazy, but yeah, that's really stupid. Like it sounds insane. You know why? Because it is. That's the crazy part. It sounds insane because it is. You ever thought of that? Like, oh, this is so crazy. You ever thought the person doing this shit might be crazy? Just like might be.
I mean, they accused Dynasty Warriors at one point.
If he was Dynasty Warriors, he would have showed up on a ship speaking full fluent Chinese, looking for a man named Lu Bu in the middle of Connecticut. I don't know the Chinese population in Connecticut, but I'm pretty damn sure it ain't big. I need to speak to Lu Bu Zhao Sing. Like, who the fuck is he talking about?
And here's the funny thing. I first found out about that from a Reuters report, and it was a very small section. It was like maybe one paragraph or two, or not, one sentence or two, and they were talking to an old friend of his that he grew up with, and he said, you know, he played Dynasty Warriors and stuff like that, but the Reuters article didn't specify if it was the first Dynasty Warriors game that played like a fighter or the other Dynasty Warriors games that played like a brawler. The thing is that they bring up the whole Dynasty Warriors thing, and that's only like 2 sentences long. Fucking, I think, what was it, Daily Mail came in and blew this shit way out of proportion, made a full-blown spread on their newspapers saying, oh, he played a fantasy war game that caused him to commit these violent acts. I'm like, guys, he did not go into the school with ornate Chang Baos, all right?
he went to the school playing gongs and shit.
Well, you gotta blame it on the media because they always blow things out of proportion. It's like, oh, hey, they were playing, like, Dynasty Warriors, they were playing a fantasy war game.
I mean, for fuck's sake, it takes place in the Three Kingdoms era. There were no guns back then in China.
Yeah, I thought that would be pretty obvious. Oh, wait a second. He didn't go on the Silk Road. He took a highway. He traveled by regular means of transportation.
Yo, James, what's your take on this?
I'm still soaking everything in, actually. I want to try to formulate what I want to say without coming off as too offensive.
Oh, okay, then.
Oh, I'm all for offensive, so you can just put the PC stuff on in words, and type me the real shit, because I love the real shit, the real, like, nitty-gritty. Like, I want to hear James just go off. He's dumb.
It usually takes about an hour to write something, though.
Actually, I just read on Lewis's chat. He says, "Scooby, please."
Oh, that was like earlier that you said. I forgot what exactly I was commenting on when you wrote that. When you said something, so I just wrote that.
Fucking oh man, I'm quitting Ikaruga. I can't. I'd start cursing. Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, you're playing Ikaruga now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, so that was a disclaimer that you hear.
I said I'm playing Ikaruga. God damn, like I played for literally 10 minutes, and it feels like I'm playing Vector Man blind.
Alright, but
just play Sonic 06.
I can't download it. You're a piece of shit for even bringing that up.
I think you wasted your money.
I did not waste my money.
He thinks it was a worthy investment.
It was a decent game. Listen,
he just needs better load times.
In his world,
I can't right now. I can't. I feel like just going off on that game right now, but I'm gonna. We gotta stick to the topic I had.
Yeah, wait about another shit. I did not even start. We don't even have a timer. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, crap. I don't. Okay. So going back to the topic. The one thing that it does sadden me a little bit. Actually, not a little bit. It actually quite saddens me quite a bit. Is that one of the kids that were shot, Noah Posner, one of his favorite things was to play video games. And the fact that the media is completely ostracizing something that this kid liked, I mean, it does seem a little bit disrespectful, don't you think?
To the fame of a 10-year-old or something? Yeah.
I believe so.
they've been doing studies on this shit for like years,
Yeah.
for like decades, and they found no link. Like you would think that, oh, let's go to the government-funded study, and the government's like, hey, no dice, lady. You would think something would click there, and the argument I always get, especially from like stay-at-home moms or whatever, they're like, oh, but all he was doing was playing video games. Yo, I went a whole summer playing Mario Galaxies and Mario Kart. I didn't throw a mushroom at a woman yet.
I haven't curb stomped a turtle yet.
I haven't killed any turtles. I ain't look at no Italian men with...
Don't say that. Don't say that. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. I forgot your turtle died. My bad.
Rest in peace.
Rest
Wait, Louis' turtle died, LOL. Sorry, I'm kidding.
Damn. Rest in peace.
Louis' turtle died, LOL. No, but yeah, like I didn't do any of that stuff, and it just like it bugs me out that people think someone does something repetitively, and then randomly they adapt the behavior of the virtual world. I would love to see someone playing Heaven Fever for 6 months and come out and be the best damn dancer and win So You Think You Can Dance season 10.
he shows up in his tap shoes and he goes bum 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 tap tap tap.
Yeah. Wow, he can really keep the beat.
The thing is, like with something like this, it's always easier to blame something else. Like instead of taking personal responsibility and evaluating the person or like the person who raised them, it's not their fault. They're always like pinned as the victim because it's always the music, it's the movies, it's the video games, it's the books that made him do it. It's ridiculous.
Of course.
I mean, freaking Charles Manson, he loved the shit out of Helter Skelter. Did they stop selling the White Album?
Nope.
No! It went on to become the best, one of the best-selling albums for the Beatles.
And it's crazy. Like people aren't blaming his parents, at least remotely. Like his mom. Think about this. All right, I'm gonna put this. I'm about to go off the handle.
Okay.
Cut me off if you want.
Go for it.
So, first off, the dad, right? It's the dad, the son, Senor Crazy, and Senor Crazy's mom. So, they're all living together, and he works on Wall Street, and he commutes or whatever. Basically, 10 years down the line, he sits there and goes, you know what? This bitch is clearly crazy. He pays her $300,000 a year in alimony. If you pay $300,000 in alimony to get away from somebody, that bitch might be crazy. And then she keeps crazy, right? And she ain't an ancient bitch. She pretty much, everyone talked about her in the bars. They were saying how she just slips around and, did whatever the hell she wanted, never noticed her kid, never paid attention, said like hateful shit like I love the kids down at the school more than I love my son. Like hateful shit like that. And you expect this motherfucker not to go off the handle? Like, seriously? Seriously? We should really be talking to the mom saying, hey, by the way, terrible job.
It's like, thanks for not raising your kid.
We can't talk to her now because he killed her. That was
she was first out.
But the shit is that she took him.
She got the first blood. She definitely deserved it.
I mean, not to disrespect the dead, but she took him to the shooting range where he shot guns with her. Like, it's like, oh my god, stupid. Why did you take him to the gun range if you knew he was a little bit nutso?
Because that takes some real parental thinking to sit there and go, hey, my kid isn't as bright stars and amazing as I want him to be, and I should do some real shit. Like, hey, he has violent tendencies. Let me not take him down to the gun range. No parent wants to do that.
Like, I'm spend time with your child. Teach them right from wrong.
Yeah, of course. That's also teaching right and wrong. But we're talking about an ancient bitch who ain't know what right and wrong was.
Ancient bitch.
Ain't shit. That's what.
I just said ancient.
Oh, she ancient too. Her page, she was looking rough. Her picture's rough. She hit the wall hard.
Oh shit.
Yo, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Take me off. Call. See if I can.
Oh shit. Okay, that part we gotta censor out. And but speaking of that quote, I remember going on one of the Skullgirls streams last week, and it was the Japanese tournament.
Yeah.
And one of the guys he was there, he was talking to the to the crew, and we were talking about the whole difference of, culture between Japan and America, in regards to video games. And he saw, salarymen. He saw like schoolboys and schoolgirls. He saw regular workers just playing at the arcades, and how he doesn't really see that kind of shit over here. And I'm like, it's most likely the stigma.
It's shamed. Of course not. You think you're gonna tell somebody? You're gonna take away the most enjoyous thing about themselves. If I love video games since I was 5, how the fuck you telling me I'm 30 and I can't play no more? And you just gonna keep that shit away from me. I'm gonna be normal. You know what? I'm gonna be cool. Let's watch Mad Men. That'll fulfill the rush I used to get from playing Mario. let's sit down and watch How I Met Your Mother. That'll fulfill that hole. Like that's not gonna do anything. That's gonna make you crazy.
I mean, the thing is that I remember, thinking back once I left the chats, I was thinking, well, when was the last time we actually saw everyone playing a video game? And it was during the Atari days. Remember the old commercials that went, "Have you played Atari today?" That one, and how it said it was practically saying your father could play Atari, your grandmother could play Atari, that dude down the block can play Atari. It was pretty.
Well, then they try to rekindle that with the Nintendo Wii, where you had those two guys showing up at your door.
Yeah, and it was actually successful for its time. But what I'm saying is that, back then, during the Atari days, it wasn't bad for everyone to play video games. It was both an adult thing and a kid's thing to play video games. I think it was roughly around, and I don't mean to talk shit about Nintendo, but it was when Nintendo released the NES that they actually marketed it as a kid's system.
Well, no, they had to do that, though.
They kind of, because of the video crash.
Oh yeah, of course. I would have marketed it as a toy too, but that stigma really, it's like it hasn't stayed, because you know what? When I go to midnight launches, the reason why they can have midnight launches and releases is because of the fact that those are males that are going 18 to what? Is it 34 now?
I think it's 18 to 34.
18 to 34. Those dudes will show up like, yeah, man, I took the day off. I called in sick for tomorrow, and I'm about to bust out this Halo Reach storyline. I'm pretty sure it's going to keep me up for like 12 hours. Beat it in 4. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to take it from there, and that's not happening anymore. Now that guy is considered creepy or childish or something like that. So basically, they're damning something to the point where people are going to have avid reactions, and unfortunately, this kid is one of them. He's just one of the many that I think are going to happen if we continue to do it like this.
Mm-hmm. And it also draws parallels to the views of otaku in Japan back in the late 90s, early new millennium, when they were actually viewed as creepy, and then at some point in the 2000s they were actually seen as cool because of the whole Train Man thing. And after the Akihabara stabbing, that's when otakus suddenly dropped the fuck back down into creepy territory. It's practically happening to us now again.
Of course.
With this fucking Lanza
creepy shaming, and all that other stuff. And what's the other thing that they're doing? They're taking random pictures. Like, there's a site that's literally called Something Loser, and it's a bunch of girls basically taking pictures of guys they find creepy.
Oh,
and they're putting it online.
That's a dick move.
Oh, of course. Of course. Don't let me find my picture on there. I will go ham on the webmaster. You're going to see me getting pulled off, sir. There have been reports. I'm going to go straight Anita Scarcesian on them. They ain't going to know what happened to him.
To our viewers out there, he's not inciting violence. He's just saying he'll talk a lot of shit.
Yeah. What you thought I was talking about, violence, man?
Some viewers out there would think it.
Oh man, people's thoughts.
Yeah, some people might take what you say seriously, or they might take it too literally, and they.
I was talking about making a video series and talking about the crow's feet on their faces, but yeah, that too, that works, I guess. Yeah, just let them know, hey, I'm not inciting violence.
Just picture talking to the Fox News audience.
Oh God.
Yo, honestly, I don't really hate Fox that much.
Mm-hmm.
They like, you know what, they have mess ups, but they will call somebody out. They'll straight up just like blim blam on somebody. They'll ruin someone's afternoon. Like, goddamn, like they ruined Kanye West's afternoon after he said that about Bush. You could just see Kanye eating some cereal. And he'd be sitting there, God damn, these motherfuckers went off of me. I don't even feel like eating this Frosted Flakes. I'm angry. But you know what? Sandy Hook was very sad, and I think we should move off the topic because these kids really need to be put to rest. Leave them alone.
Yes.
It happened. You know what? And we just got to deal with the political correct bull crap and media blaming and all that other stuff. Because you know what? I have not seen one media outlet to yet blame his mom for the terrible job she did raising him.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Seriously,
that should let you know a lot. No. Fine, please.
I'm just saying, like, nothing for like a month straight after it happened, like every single like magazine, newspaper, or any like printed publication would have like pictures of those children on them. Like, stop. Like, I don't want to see that. I'm pretty sure most people out there don't want to see it either. But like, they were like, oh, you see these children? This is what they look like. Remember them. Remember them.
Oh, they
it's like, okay, we get it. What happened was unfortunate. It was tragic, but you know, they constantly try to rail it in. It's like, will you let them like just rest already?
Mm-hmm.
They just did it like 2 days ago on the Daily News.
Yeah, I saw that when I was walking through the grocery store to get breakfast. I just saw that they showed the picture of the newspaper and it was mentioning about like Congress or something.
Yeah, that the assault weapons ban fell through and it just failed to go. And you know, with the whole gun control thing. I mean, I personally just want to stay out of it, but I do have an opinion of it, but I'm not gonna really
say
I have a strong anything. But just know that I'm anti-NRA because they are nutso. I mean, their solution for stopping gun violence is to put more guns in the hands of people.
I agree.
But here's the thing, though.
No,
like,
I mean, I agree with
not
NRA.
really the guns. It's the people.
I agree with NRA, bro.
Why?
Cause think about this. Remember, like, people don't always have a good idea of what the Bronx, what it used to be. Remember, the Bronx used to be part of Yonkers, like Queens used to be part of Long Island. So when they started putting minorities in there, well-armed minorities, no problems in the neighborhoods. When you start taking guns away from just everybody, you know, the only people who have guns. Criminals. You ever wonder why you always hear a gangster has a gun? You never hear about good citizens doing stuff with guns? Because it's impossible to happen. It's like impossible to happen. I lived in Far Rockaway, South Jamaica. I lived near Brownsville at one point, and I lived in the Bronx for near Tremont Avenue all that other time. I've never seen a good guy with a gun in Tremont. You know what I have seen with a gun? Gangsters.
Mm-hmm. So probably because the guy had no reason to bring out the gun in the first place, probably.
No, that's not the thing. The thing is that only bad guys have guns. Like, in other words, bad people will have a weapon, they're going to use it for bad. Good people have a weapon, they're going to use it for good. But if you're going to give bad people a weapon, there's no way to counter that. Like, there's no way to counter someone doing bad against you with the same tools. Like, good and evil should have the same tools, because good's going to use the tool for good and bad's going to use the tool for bad. But if you just disarm good, bad's going to take over. That's the history of every single ghetto in New York City. That's like the history of every single ghetto in New York City. That's what I'm just saying. Especially the South Bronx.
Laws will only protect, or they'll only like stop the innocent. Like, oh hey, the innocent will abide by these rules, while those who are prone to commit crimes will still go along with it anyways. They'll still be like, oh whatever.
I mean, actually, guns
are outlawed. I'll still attain one anyways.
Yes, that's my problem.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of DRM for PC games. All it does is stop the legit paying consumer, whereas the pirates are going to go get what they want.
Right, exactly.
So with assault weapons ban, I mean, I would be for it, but in the end, I don't think it's stopping anything.
They're going to find a way. Every time they've gone around trying to ban something, it's just gotten worse. Think about this: how did the mafia start? Alcohol prohibition. The second they said, "Hey, y'all can't get drunk no more," Joey Patone was born. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like when you try to just ban something because I forgot his is it Joey Patone? Or am I saying his name wrong? Anyway,
that's the guy from NSYNC, dude.
Joey Patone. You know what? Fuck it. Greek gangsters. He's an honorary one because he does kind of look like one. So.
Dimitri Dimitri. James knows.
Justin Timberlake was born. No, but in all seriousness, like once you just start crazy banning something, it creates a black market for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens. The war on drugs and all sorts of stuff. The only reason why you have drug kingpins is because they're the only ones with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if the product's bad, it's basically not going to, do that same thing. Like, you're not going to see a drug kingpin over Windows Vista any time this century, but Windows Vista. Yeah, you're not going to see like a underground market for like Windows Vista. Yo, man, I got that Vista. But you're going to see it for drugs and guns and all this other stuff that people think are necessary to themselves.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
what we got? 3 pro-gun members, 3 anti-gun members.
Like the whole thing, like for me, the concept of like having a gun, yeah, everyone like you have the right to own one, but like if you want to protect your home, you don't need like an AK-47.
Oh no,
you really don't need that. A regular handgun or a shotgun, maybe like for the great outdoors would work. But do you really need a Bushmaster to protect yourself?
Just a log trap. That's all you need.
Well, personally, I don't. I think more in the lines of the AK-47s and stuff like that. That is because on even ground. Like, no offense, the people that are allowed to have them, what stops them from going, apeshit? Like, that's the thing. That's my only problem with the idea of people saying you don't need this, you don't need that. Like, personally, there are let's. I hate to use this example. Let's say Red Dawn. Let's say tomorrow we shell off and go, New York is its own sovereign state, and Russia tries to come over. New York is gone. There's no guns in New York. There's no guns anywhere. Like, honestly, it's that if someone else is allowed to have something, I should also be allowed to have it. And now, granted, not like subsidizing or like that. I'm talking about like actual regular ownership. I should be allowed to have it. So if people can have AK-47s, I should be allowed to have AK-47s.
You sound like an entitled customer.
How am I an entitled customer? I'm using it by my own means, not forcing someone else to buy it for me.
No, that's just fine.
Entitled customer would mean I need you to provide it for me because I demand it.
Mm-hmm. Continue. I'm hungry.
I forgot. Yo, he was going crazy on them chicken wings.
We got cut to him.
Oh man, those chicken wings were what?
You know what I'm missing?
That crown fried combination.
No, chill. I hate crown fried chicken.
But I was gonna say, like, going back to the topic at hand, like, it's not the guns that kill these people. It's not like the games. It's not everything else that does it. It's the people that do it. It's essentially what they're doing is like, it's like those people that blame McDonald's for making them bad. Or let's blame a ski mask maker for bank robberies.
That's funny. I've never heard that.
You try to do all these like scapegoating arguments. It's like it doesn't really work. It's like, oh, you play. Somebody said that, oh, years of extended exposure to violent video games is going to make you extremely violent. No, I grew up playing games like Mortal Kombat, Streets of Rage. My father and I would play rounds of Mortal Kombat against each other. I have not once gone out there, ripped somebody's spinal cord out of their back, nor have I punched them in the chest cavity and like extracted their heart.
I mean, there's a multitude of other factors that will make someone go nuts. It ain't gonna be just video games.
Yeah, school, kids.
Stuff at home,
I mean, school more than once made me go a little nuts, but it wasn't the video games that did it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you have like a decent fucking parent. Remember, he had an ain't shit mom. Let's run it back to his childhood. His childhood was shit. Because his mom was the cousin of Satan. Let's be fair now.
I mean, he played Dynasty Warriors, for Christ's sakes.
She was too busy hoeing at the gun range, at the bar. So let's throw this in there. Alcoholic, neglectful. Oh, I'm surprised the kid isn't Bill Gates. Like let's let's cut the commercial and just like get her off stage.
Also, like continuing on from what I was saying like just a few seconds ago, it's like I played like games like Grand Theft Auto. I own a gun. Not once have I gone out in the street to try to get my money back from or just try to rob somebody with it, or nor have I decided to go open fire on a bunch of people.
Go to the whole stroll. Give my money.
And it's stupid that they're trying to place this negative stigma on like those who play video games as like they're trying to demonize them as like, oh, you play video games, you're gonna kill somebody.
Yeah. Oh, didn't some DreamHack or whatever his name is, some major StarCraft player, his house got robbed like literally 4 days after those executive orders were passed. And he got home, and the robber was still there, and the robber had his computer and all this other stuff, and he said, well, I stuck out the enemy, and he takes a picture of his gun. And he said, for some reason, the robber left. He didn't understand that, listen, hey, the gun is the evil one, and he should not be afraid of the gun. He should be afraid of the system that makes him use the gun. So in other words, like he's not really a big fan of the executive orders because guess what? The gun saved his life. It stopped the robber, kept his computer, and he's still streaming. By the way, Lewis, you're a very pretty man.
You know, I was actually trying to look that up right now. I was like, how am I gonna look it up? I don't know what the hell to look it up under.
Oh, yo, there was some weird lag on his webcam, and there was no one on the chair, and then he suddenly appeared like a Houdini trick.
Oh god.
Maybe it's like a horror movie, like where the ghost magically appears, like Paranormal Activity.
All right, so I think we've already we're done with this topic, right?
Yeah, you can go to hell.
Let's get to Apex.
I said what I wanted to say about this already.
All right,
Let's
so
rest in peace, kids.